What up, what up, what up? Welcome in, everybody. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. I got a quick one for you today, but it's going to be really, really powerful and really impactful. I got some lives going on the iMac. I got IG Live on the Instagram, so on my phone. But drop everybody. Tell me where you're jumping in from. And I want to ask you a question right away. How many times have you started over? Okay. Answer this question. How many times have you started over? New diet, new workout program, new walking routine, new devotion plan, right? New promise to yourself. How many times have you started over, right? How many times? Because today I want to challenge a belief that I think is keeping a lot of Christians stuck, all right? I don't think your biggest problem is food. I don't think your biggest problem is motivation. I don't think your biggest problem is your age. I think your biggest problem is that you've stopped trusting yourself. And I want you to think about that for a second. Imagine you had a friend, and every single week that friend told you, I'm going to do this. And then they didn't. Every week, 4 years. Would you trust them? Seriously, answer that question. Would you trust that friend? Every single week they told you they were going to do something, they didn't do it, they didn't follow through, right? Would you trust that friend? Yes or no? Probably not. But let's make this personal to you, okay? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start Monday, I'll stop eating like this? No, right? I'll start walking, I'll wake up earlier, I'll read my Bible consistently, I'll finally get serious, and then you didn't. And over time, guys, something dangerous really happens in your life, okay? You stop believing your own words. And most people think confidence comes from losing weight. And I disagree, okay? I couldn't disagree with that statement more. Confidence comes from integrity, right? Confidence comes from doing what you said you were going to do, even if nobody sees it. And I'll go as far as to especially if nobody sees it, right? I remember seasons of my own life, guys, where I didn't trust myself at all. I battled addiction. I battled depression. I battled victimhood. I battled being overweight. I battled spiritual emptiness. And during those seasons, the biggest issue wasn't my body, right? The biggest issue was I had become someone who wasn't keeping promises to himself, right? Can anybody here relate to that, right? Drop a yes in the chat if you can relate to that. If you've ever broken promises to yourself, or you feel like you're missing something and you feel like things need to change, but at the core of it all, right? The biggest issue was you not keeping promises to yourself, right? Drop a yes in the comments if you can relate to that. Drop a yes in the comment if you know what I'm talking about. Because here's what I discovered, okay? Most people are trying to build confidence before they build evidence. I'm going to say that again. Most people are trying to build confidence before they build evidence. They're waiting to feel different, but confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first, okay? Then confidence follows. And it's one kept promise, then another, then another, then another. So here's the thing, guys. To the woman that walks for 10 minutes today, that builds more confidence than the woman who spends 2 hours researching diets, okay? The woman who reads a chapter of scripture builds more confidence than the woman who plans a perfect Bible study she'll never start. The woman who drinks her water today builds more confidence than the woman waiting until Monday. Do you guys see this pattern right now, right? Confidence is earned, not given. And here's where I want to bring faith into this, okay? I think a lot of Christians are carrying shame because shame says, I am the problem. And conviction says my behavior is the problem. Right? Those are not the same things. God is not looking at you saying you're hopeless, you're broken, you're too far gone. He's saying, daughter, let's get moving again. One step, one decision, one act of obedience, and one promise kept. That's it. Not perfection, okay? Progress. And one thing I want you to understand today, your current situation is not your identity, okay? Being overweight is not your identity. Being inconsistent is not your identity. Being tired is not your identity. Being stuck is not your identity. That is your current circumstance, right? And circumstances can change. Write that in the chat. Circumstances can change. But the enemy wants you to believe this is just how you are now. And I don't believe that, okay? I've seen way too many women in our program in their 50s and 60s completely transform their lives. Not because they found some magic diet, but because they started keeping promises to themselves again. All right? So here's your homework from Coach Trey today. You ready? Don't overhaul your entire life. Don't start a 12-step plan. And don't promise yourself you're going to lose 50 pounds. Okay? Make one promise today. Yes, not perfection, progress. Make one promise today. One. Okay? Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's protein. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's reading scripture. I don't care what it is, okay? Just make it small enough that you can win. Then keep it. Because self-respect is rebuilt one kept promise at a time, right? Hey, and guys, before I jump off, tell me in the comments, what's one promise you're going to keep to yourself today? One promise, drop it in the comments. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Let me hear it. Drop one promise in the chat that you're going to keep to yourself today. Let me look at the other chat, see what we got going on. I want to see them. Drop it in the chat. What is one promise you are going to keep to yourself today? What about self-sabotage? What about it? What's your question? You want me to explain why people self-sabotage themselves? Is that what you're asking? I don't know if you guys are ready for this. Water today. Good job. What do we got here? Aspiring executive. You want to talk about self-sabotage? All right, let's do it. So self-sabotage is a protective mechanism, okay? Your brain has this thing called the amygdala in it. You guys get ready for this. I'm going to drop some bombs on you. Your brain has something in it called the amygdala, okay? And your amygdala is it's an alarm system in your brain. And it's meant to detect threats, okay? The problem with the amygdala is it cannot discern actual threats versus discomfort, okay? Check this out. If you catch yourself self-sabotaging, all right, it's because your brain always wants to remain in a place of complacency and comfort. So let's say that somebody wants to lose 50 pounds, they lose 10, and then they self-sabotage themselves and gain 10 pounds. It's because you being 10 pounds less, guess what? That's a new environment. Guess what? New environments are scary, okay, to your brain. They're scary. So you have to understand at a deep psychological level why self-sabotage happens. And when you go to sabotage yourself, understand, wait a second, this is just my brain trying to keep me in the same place, right? And that's not where you actually want to go. You also have to understand that means you're a normal human being, right? Everybody's brain will try to sabotage them. That's why it's so important, guys, to have coaches or mentors. I was sharing with my team today, the true definition of a leader to me is somebody who is being led, who is then running alongside people and then leading others. A true leader to me is not somebody who does not have somebody leading them, right? That's why I always have a mentor and coach, right? That's why I lead and coach my coaches, right? It's so important. Does that make sense on self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is a protective mechanism that your brain is designed to do. Really simple. I did a full training on this on Mindset Mondays on Instagram Live. You can go back and look at, right? What other questions you guys have? I got a couple minutes. I want to give some value. I love that you says scripture. I love that you guys says water or steps or whatever it is. It's about keeping promises to yourself, guys. That's it. Keep promises to yourself. Point blank, period. Right? That's because I lost 100 pounds of weight loss surgery. After a year later, I gained much of it back due to the attention. I got it. Yeah, you went back to comfort, right? You went back to something that felt safe to you, which was being overweight, right? Just know your brain's designed to do that. You have to override that system, though, right? I also want you to know that I have a client that did something similar and is now back down 50 pounds. So it's not over for you, right? It's not over for you. What other questions you have, guys? What can I help with? Was this valuable to you guys today? Should I do a live every single day again? Should I get back to my daily lives? It's been a while. Been busy. If you know you want to lose the weight, how do I change it? I'm not understanding your question. If you I don't know what you mean. Try to ask it. If you know you want to lose the weight, how do I change it? Like you don't want to lose the weight, or you do want to lose the weight? I'm not following you. Would like a daily live. I love that. Where are you tuning in from? Problem with lives too is like work schedules with people. Like I want to reach as many people as possible, but it is what it is. Yeah, you have to understand. So what is your actual goal? Right? Is your goal weight loss, or is your goal to have an integrity with yourself? East Tennessee, I love that. Is your goal weight loss, or is your goal to be a person that keeps your word to yourself? Because this is what the training was about today. And it sounds like you have the wrong mindset going into it. Yep. So detach from the weight loss goal. It's not about weight loss. It's about you being a person of integrity to yourself. So what will happen is when you do that, you ask yourself the question, did I do what I say I was going to do today? Not how much weight did I lose today? Not when will the 100 pounds be gone? Not when will the 50 pounds be gone? Not when will the 30 pounds be gone? Right? Does that make sense? Instead, keep your promises to yourself. So set out the small micro commitments every day and keep those commitments to yourself. That in turn is going to give you confidence. It's going to build your integrity. It's going to build your relationship with yourself. And then the byproduct of that is like you're going to lose weight eventually, right? I'm in a cutting phase right now, guys. I'm in week 2. I've lost 1.5 pounds. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Was I honest with my nutrition every day? That's what I asked myself. Yep, sure was. Even if I overate a little bit, did I track it? Yep, sure did. It's that simple. I don't know why. Like, you have to stop overcomplicating this, guys. Right? That is truly what all this is about. Every ounce of this is about you keeping your word to yourself. I promise. When you start to see that, like the women in our community that get these insane transformations, right? They start feeling closer with Jesus. They start feeling like all these crazy things happen in their life. And it's simply because they started keeping their promises to themselves, guys. It really is that simple. Guys, if you want to inquire about what we do and you like this kind of training, this is what we do on the inside of what we do, you can send me a direct message that says Kingdom. If not, I do appreciate you being here. I hope you guys got value to this. And I love you guys. I believe in you. I want you to know that you can achieve your dreams and your goals. Coach Trey's out.